crafty friends, and welcome to day 9 of HoliVlog. It is Monday when I'm recording this. It actually is Monday. And it's been, well, it hasn't really been that Monday, but yeah. Hi, how are you? I hope you've had the best weekend that was available to you. My weekend socially was quite nice. I got to chat with lots of different friends over the course of the weekend via Zoom. Thank you, Megan, for setting that up. That was fantastic. So I really enjoyed that, but I was not feeling physically very great all weekend. The stomach issues persist, and so I can't remember if I mentioned before, but I'm having lots of nausea, like just lots and lots of nausea, mostly first thing in the morning, and then I've managed to mitigate that mostly with protein shakes first thing in the morning, but the last couple of days, I just couldn't shake the nausea. I just felt sick all day. So I didn't do a lot of crafting. I did some business stuff. I basically did stuff that I could do with a computer, because I wasn't feeling real great. So I didn't film over the weekend. I didn't do a whole lot of crafty stuff. Okay, the cats are catting. Momo makes that terrifying noise. I don't know if y'all could hear it, but she makes that terrifying noise whenever Mercury gets too close to her. Like, he doesn't do anything to her, but if he looks at her sideways or he gets too close to her, she acts like she is dying. It is awful. Um, anyway, they're fine. Everybody's fine. But yeah, so I didn't get a whole lot of crafting done. I got a little bit of business stuff done. The orders are pouring in for the Stitch for Pride fabric, so thank y'all. Everybody who shared the link, everybody who has spread the word about the fabrics, everybody who talked other people into buying the fabric, thank you very much. I appreciate it. The orders have been wild. I already have way more orders this year than I had for last year. So it's super fantastic. It's also going to be a lot of work. So December is going to be very busy for me. I'm going to show you a preview of the fabric here in a minute. But since we're talking about project progress, let's talk about tiny present project progress. Tiny present project progress. I almost got completely through that without messing it up at all. So here is my, oh, I didn't realize. I had the needle stuck on the back. Let's not do that. So this is the Nordic holiday, Nordic holiday countdown. I feel like there's not enough words there. Anyway, this is from Evertote, Modern Folk Embroidery, and Roxy Floss Co. And I am caught up through day 5. So you can see my little, what appear to be little peoples now have skirts or aprons or something. So yeah, and the color's really washed out. But there you go. And I have my needle minder down there that's a mess because I just have lots of needles. I meant to say the other day that I have discovered that I don't care for the John James. The John James needles. They're shorter than the Bowen needles, which is not a bad thing, because sometimes that actually means that you can play floss chicken better with a short needle because it doesn't need as much floss to be able to go back and forth through the fabric. However, as a friend of mine says all the time, however, the John James needles have the tiniest eye. And so threading them is very, very difficult for me. Even with my magnifying lamp, I have trouble threading the needles because a standard DMC thickness, DMC weight 6-strand floss is a little too thick for the John James needles. So, yeah, not so fun. So I've switched back to my Bowens. I got a couple of John James down here because that's what I was starting with. But the needle I found on the back of my project is actually a Bowen because I had to go to my tried and true. What can I say? But there is my crafty progress. I think I got like 2 or 3 rows of my perennial shawl scarf. I got 2 or 3 rows knitted on it. I'm ready to start the new color, the next color, but I just haven't started it yet. When I was knitting the other night, I wasn't feeling like continuing to knit, like actually doing the brain work of starting a new color and all that sort of stuff. So no progress really to show on that. I am getting concerned about the shape of it because it's not shaping out right. I'm going to trust the process. I have followed the directions. I've done what I was supposed to do. Say hello to Loki. Sir, there's literally no room for you. Sir. sir. I love you. And we're going this way. Thank you. Okay. I don't like to pick him up because he, like, I don't know if you could see him flailing. Sir, no, hey. And now he's getting into the box with the Evertoads. Hold on. It's Monday. He poked a hole in one of the packages with his little claws. Oh my gosh. This cat, y'all. I fed them before I started filming so that they would leave me alone. No such luck. So anyway, that's all of my project progress for the weekend. So I had hoped to have a very stitchy weekend. Chances are probably pretty slim that I'm going to get all that much stitching time for the rest of the month, honestly, because I ordered fabric yesterday to start doing all the dyeing, in addition to all of the Stitch for Pride, which is going to be at a minimum, I think 15 yards. I'm trying to remember how much I ordered. 15 yards of fabric for the orders that I already have. And then I've got like another 11 yards of fabric to dye for the Floss Tube at Sea 2025 cruise. So it's gonna be a busy month for dyeing. Let me see where I can put this. Actually, let me. That is the safest place for it right now. So, yeah. Oh, speaking of fabric, since we're talking about fabric anyway, here is a preview of the Stitch for Pride 2025 fabric. So, your very own piece of fabric, if you have ordered one, and pre-orders are still open. At this point, I had put, I may have to change the note on the website. I had put a note on the website saying that if you ordered by the 13th, which would be this Friday, that I would do my best to get your order out before January. That is, of course, with the caveat that if you are a Canadian friend, I'll be holding your package until the Canadian Postal Service has resolved the strike, and hopefully the workers are getting the best deal that they're able to get, or not the best deal, but that the workers are getting a good deal. Hopefully the workers will get what they need, what they want, and the strike will resolve, but I won't be shipping Canadian orders until that happens. So if you're a Canadian friend, I'm going to hold on to your fabric until I can send it by Canada Post again. So there is that, but otherwise I'm going to try to ship all the fabrics before January, hopefully in time for you to get them to start on January 1st, if that's your intent. I know a lot of my friends are like, I have no idea when I'm going to start the 2025, but I wanted the fabric. So, so if you have pre-ordered, or if you're planning on ordering, this is what your fabric's going to look very much like this. So it's a dark fabric, intentionally, because the colors are, sort of, pale, I guess is the right word, like pale pastel. They're lighter colors, the flosses, and hopefully additional floss packs will open up later once Canada Post is running again, hopefully, because I didn't get a floss pack either. So hopefully the floss packs from Al will be back open for pre-order once the strike is resolved. If not, I'll pick some color and cottons, or I'll do some cottage gardens or something. I'll do something. But the colors are light, so do you wanted a fabric that would really let those colors sing? So I think this is going to work really well. And so this is sort of a double dyed process to make sure that there's not too much white on the fabric. But this is intended, this specific piece is intended to be for Dee to do the model stitch on. So once Canada Post is running again, I can send this to them and he can get started. I think he's got another piece of fabric that has a similar base color that he's going to stitch on until we're able to get the fabric there. So, but that's what it looks like. That is what the fabric is going to look like. So this is a piece of 4E count for anybody who's interested. The Lugana, necessarily will dye significantly lighter than this. So if you ordered Verdal or Lugana, it's going to come out more like in this range. And it'll be a little bit browner, a little bit redder than this color. So it is going to be a little bit different, but I kind of love the way that the Verdal dyes up. So I think it'll be fine. I personally, one of my test dyes of Verdal is the one that I'm going to use for my for my Stitch for Pride. So just FYI, but yeah, so that's what you can expect for the Stitch for Pride 2025 fabric. Just so y'all know, I believe Dee warned everybody that it was going to be a dark fabric, so I was concerned that folks would find out later that it was a black fabric and not be happy. But I think everybody's fine with it. So that is that. Now, um, what next? Oh, I realized that I forgot. I completely forgot to do um, my weekly full skeins yesterday. I was supposed to open them on the 8th, and I completely forgot. So before we get into everything else, I'm going to open up my full skeins that were supposed to be opened up yesterday. Let's do them in alphabetical order. So we have Ballyhora, and Rachel was finally able to get my brain jump started. So the burial mounds that I talked at length about, I think, before, they're the main one, the largest one, is called Newgrange, and I think Meath is like a secondary one that you can go and tour. And but if I remember correctly, it's the Newgrange burial mound. That's the one that gets the sun into the center of the mound at winter solstice every year. So it's a really cool experience. If you have a chance to go to Ireland and you have a chance to go visit Newgrange and Meath, you absolutely should. It's totally worth it. It's really, really awesome. So I can't remember if these are meant to be based specifically on Newgrange or if they're just meant to be based on like megalithic, what do they call them? Megalithic stone monuments? Whatever. Anyway, Stonehenge kind of things. It's Monday afternoon, y'all. My brain is not working. Okay. So, Ballyhora from Limerick, which is a little bit north of Kerry, apparently. I had my geography a little bit off. Oh, wow. Look at that. How pretty is that? So this is the variegated, obviously. Grand Stretch. I'm not sure what that refers to. I wish she had included info cards to tell you what they're references to. Let's see what the tonal is. That looks very similar to the previous tonal. Triskalia? I never have been able to figure out how to pronounce this word. So I believe this is what they call the like 3 spiral design. So there's I think this whole thing must be based on Newgrange because this is a design that you see carved in many of the stones around the burial mounds. And it's it's almost like a triangle, but the ends come out in swirls. So you have this like swirl, and then it comes down to the next point, and there's a swirl, and it goes to the next point and swirl. So if you remember Charmed and this 3-pointed like Celtic triangle, it's similar to that, but you have swirlies on the ends of the triangles instead of it being a knot. So yeah, I think that's what that's referencing. It definitely does look like the stones. I mean, that's the color of the stones that you see at Newgrange and Meath. And then Grand Stretch. I feel like this is a reference to maybe the area that is within all of the great big burial mounds. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure, but those colors are fantastic. I like them. So that's Ballyhora. And then this is Lofty Loops. And I got the soft sock base. Lofty Loops is, I think, magic and whimsy, based on fantasy books. So let's see what Lofty Loops has for us this time. I keep forgetting that I got the sock sets. Open, please. This wants to be the most difficult. Okay. Okay. Lofty Loops, plated in gold. Here too, I kind of wish she had included a little like info card to tell us like what is that referencing. It's gorgeous, and I understand the gold reference, but like what book, what series, what What fantasy thing? I want to know more. Give me more information. Tell me, what was your inspiration? Like, this is why I love Jazz's Advent so much, because Jazz has put a picture of every single creature with its scientific name into the skein with it, so you know exactly where the inspiration came from. I want to know where the inspiration came from, folks. So anyway, let me put these yarns over out of the way so that I can have a little bit more space, and we'll get into the rest of the daily stuff. Okay, so now it's time to talk about our little plastic plant for the day. So this is yesterday's weird little plant thing. Again, I'm not a fan of these colors, but I think the design is pretty cool, especially because like they're these little flowers actually move. They're on like hinges, so you can kind of like adjust them however you like. So that's kind of cool. So that's what we have there. And then, oh, the chocolate of the day is the Cookie Moon flavor. So at this point, I think we've seen all of the different flavors. I don't think there's any new flavors, but I could be wrong. So Cookie Moon again today. And now, okay, so now we're ready for the frosted. I hate that I keep pausing and going, okay, what? But it's hard for me to keep track. There's a lot of stuff. I feel like I'm doing pretty well managing it all the way I have been managing it. So let's start with the Nordic Holiday Countdown from Evercoat, and Jacob at Modern Folk Embroidery, and Roxy Floss Co. Yes, okay. It's a moose. Look at that moose. That's an awesome moose. Okay. I see. Our people have feet, but they don't have heads yet. So, in today's video on Modern Folk Embroidery YouTube channel, we'll have a look why Santa chose reindeer to pull his sleigh. Interesting. So we're gonna find out why reindeer instead of like cows or oxen, I guess. Interesting. And then today's color is called Milk Chocolate. And that definitely looks like milk chocolate to me. That's a pretty good color. So I like it a lot. So that's our Nordic Holiday Countdown. So now it's time for yarny goodness. And y'all know that I'm super happy about this one at this point because we have purple. Purple. I love the purple. Let's see what Day 9 has in store. If I can, I need to just feel and not look at the box, because if I'm looking at it through the screen, it's backwards. Let's see. That looks like we got some blue in it this time. A little bit. So we have a little bit paler purple, paler lavender, but we've got some dark blue streaks in there. It overall looks like a pale blue, but in person there is definitely some lavender. But you can tell that it's definitely much paler than yesterday's. So that is our next color there, which is quite nice. And Jen, no, I still haven't figured out why everything is brown for Castle View. I need to look at her website or her Instagram or something and see if she explains why, because we have like, technically they're not all brown, I guess. You know, we started out with red at the beginning, some really deep dark red, but we've moved brown, like just different shades of brown so far. And the last one was sort of had a bit of green in it, so it was kind of a bronzy brown. So I'm gonna be very upset if the whole thing is just shades of brown. I'm gonna be very upset. I love Castle View and the colors are gorgeous, but I didn't sign up for a brown advent. So let's see what we have from Castle View. Oh, that's definitely more green. It's hard to see on camera, but okay, so this is more green with a little bit of like yellowy, leaning towards brown. So okay, we finally have a non-brown color. Finally. non-brown color. It looks more brown on camera, I'm gonna be honest. But it is more green in person. I like it. I haven't disliked any of the colors. It's just I didn't sign up for a brown advent. But here we go. We're moving into a different color family. Finally. Okay. And now Fiber Fox, we've been moving into sort of mauve slash dark, I wouldn't even say dark purple, more mauve with this. And they're definitely moody colors, but I'm hoping for some darker colors eventually. They've all been really pale, but we are getting more saturated. So they're moody. This one is definitely more, this is leaning more into lavender with some dark speckles. It's really pretty. It's my camera really doesn't do this justice. It looks like a kind of a drab gray on camera, but it really is a lovely, moody, sort of a moody lavender, I guess, is the best way to describe it. Because it's got that sort of dark tinge to it. So I feel the witching hour vibes with this one. This feels like a witchy lavender. Like it's a light color, but I feel the darkness. I feel the witching hour, so I'm okay with it. So that's Fiber Fox. All of Time and Space. The only disappointment I have with this advent is that I don't know where all the quotes are from. I would be happier if I could recognize the quotes more easily, but that's a me thing. The colors for this have been fabulous. This looks like blue. Lots of blue in this one, which is making me quite happy. Ooh. Ooh. That's not just blue. This is like teal. This is a gorgeous teal. It looks really blue on camera, but it's actually very teal in person. It's really gorgeous. Fantastic. And definitely more tonal. It's got a few speckles, but it's definitely a tonal sort of color. A straight line may be the shortest distance between 2 points, but it is by no means the most interesting. That's definitely a Doctor Who quote. I also, that sounds actually like Capaldi is who that sounds like. The 12th? Is he technically the 12th or the 13th? I think he's the 12th. Because Jodie Whittaker would be 13, and then and Ncuti Gatwa is 14, technically. But it all depends on exactly how you count the War Doctor, which is getting way into the weeds on Doctor Who. But anyway, there's today's All of Time and Space. And now we have 80s vibes versus 90s party. These have been fun, but like I am not recognizing the inspiration for any of these. I think the Polly Pocket one is actually my favorite colorway of all of them, even though I didn't recognize the connection to Polly Pocket. It's making me feel like a bad 80s kid, honestly. That looks kind of pale. Let's see what we got. Ooh. That's pretty. I like that a lot. Got a little bit of... This definitely, I think I said this earlier, but this definitely reminds me of those cups that we used to get at like the skating rink, and you know, that like 80s blue cup with the blue slash and stuff. That definitely reminds me of this. But let's see, this is day 9. So this is clear phone, it says. I had a clear phone. Did any of y'all have a clear phone in the 80s and 90s? I had a clear phone. I was very happy with my clear phone. It sucked as far as phones go, but I loved it. I loved it so much. It was heavy. It made weird noises, but it was so cool. I had a clear phone. This doesn't remind me of a clear phone at all, but I do like the color. Let's see. And that brings us to Glorious Gastropods, which we're sadly almost finished with Glorious Gastropods, and that makes me not happy, but I've enjoyed opening these so far. What does Jazz have for us? We're into the sea snails and slugs now. That looks like a really cool one. I love ocean creatures in general. So let's see. Ooh, Lox Chromodorus. Chromodorus Loki. Loci? So that is our sea slug. That is a really cool sea slug. And then here is the yarn. Look at that. Oh my gosh. That is phenomenal. Look at this. I really have never seen um, a colorway inspiration that drew so perfectly from the inspiration photo. That's so cool. Because you even have the little bits of, there's the little bits of yellow and stuff in there too. So even his little antenna and stuff are represented in the skein. That's so cool. I don't know why I decided that slug was a male. It's entirely possible that the slug has no gender. Because I think a lot of snails and slugs, maybe not a lot, some of them I think can produce asexually, reproduce asexually. Not all of them do, but I think some of them can. Okay, that brings us to the end, and I think I have talked about all the things. This one video has exhausted me. So now we're at Pink Queen yarns. We were moving into yellows, I believe. Or greens? No, we already had the greens. We're moving into orange. That's where we were. We were in the oranges, moving into the oranges for the Rainbow Kingdom. So ooh, we got a little bit of red in this one. That's a gorgeous orange. That's really pretty. It's like your quintessential Halloween orange, right? I mean, it looks real neon on camera, but it's definitely a very dimensional, quintessential autumn pumpkin orange. It's gorgeous. I love it. Okay. So that is, I think that's everything for today. If I missed anything today, I'll talk about it tomorrow. I hope you're all having the best of everything that's available to you. I'm feeling better today. I'm hoping I will continue to feel better tomorrow. This stomach stuff, y'all, I'm not okay with it. It's not fun. But anyway, I'm gonna keep on keeping on. So anyway, have the best of everything that is available to you, and I will see you again very soon.